Hello and welcome to PitchCube Plus live from Republica 2014. You probably wonder why I'm speaking English right now. Well, this is due to the man who's standing right next to me. His name is Paul Jones, and he is radio producer of Jack FM in Oxfordshire, Great Britain. This radio station works with innovative technology that enables the users to engage more in the creating process of the daily radio program. Now, I want to know how exactly this works. And, John, how you think, John, I said Paul, I'm sorry,
Right.
how the future of the radio will look like. You have 3 minutes to do so, and your 3 minutes start after the signal.
Yes, Jack FM in the UK isn't like all the other commercial radio stations in the UK. Most of those stations, in fact, I'll go as far as to say all of those stations have presenters or DJs that say things like, hey, that was a great song, and coming up's another great song. A little boring. So, Jack FM is a different kind of radio station. Based in Oxford, the city of Oxford, and broadcasting to the whole region of Oxfordshire, Jack FM doesn't have DJs, it has a voice, the voice of Jack, saying rude, interesting, funny, negative, topical things, almost like Facebook updates or tweets, the kind of thing you'd read on Facebook or Twitter, are voiced by a 73-year-old actor with an amazing deep voice. Not me, sadly. His voice is much nicer than mine. And this station's been running since 2007 in Oxford, and there are other stations that have started since then under the same banner. Jack FM is very clever in so much that it is artistically innovative in that rather than having DJs, we have this voice. And subsequently, the critical success has been massive. There are, I'm confident in saying that Jack FM in Oxford has won more commercial radio awards and awards in general in the UK than any other radio station in commercial radio history because of its different slant on things, because it isn't friendly. We employ a lot of irony at Jack FM, which is basically saying things are good when they're bad and saying things are bad when they're good. It's a joke. In fact, the strapline for the radio station is playing what we want. You see, we don't even allow the listener any input to the station. It's a joke, of course, but we think a good one. That's been running.
Minute.
Thank you. We've been running for about 7 years now. But last summer, we had an opportunity to launch a second station, broadcasting to the same area and from the same building. And we thought the wonderful ethos that Jack FM has, it would be good to take that forward and do something different with it. So whereas Jack FM, the main Jack FM, is very male-skewed, the new Jack FM, Jack 2, is very female-skewed. And we have a female voice of Jack, not 73 years old, but a girl, an actress in her 30s. And more importantly, Jack 2 has a piece of technology called Control the Music, where listeners, using their smartphones and tablets, can decide if the next hour's worth of music is for them. They can choose, they can vote songs up or down the playlist, directly influencing, with seconds to go, the next song playing on the station. And I feel this is a wonderful way of making radio, an old industry, completely brand new and interactive.
Wow. That was exactly 3 minutes.
Well,
thank you very much for the pitch.
That's all right.
So if you would like to engage in discussion about the future of the radio, you can do so on Twitter under #PitchCube. So now I have a couple of questions for you.
Of course.
So the keynote battle in the MEZ Innovation Space, the whole MEZ Innovation Space runs under the slogan, what we learned and how we can make it better. So what were the mistakes you've made in the past and how did you learn from it?
Well, the thing about Jack, of course, the wonderful thing about Jack is that because we almost all the time pretend that we're rubbish, we actually say on air that we're rubbish, we make mistakes deliberately for fun, you see, because we're very relaxed about mistakes at Jack FM. So when we actually do make a mistake, it doesn't matter. And hey, mistakes, That's how you learn. That's how you develop. We are now in a culture in many spheres where things are so safe, things are so tried and tested before they're even attempted. At Jack, we have a different ethos. We try something, if it doesn't work, well, we'll try something else. But it doesn't matter. The important thing is that we try. So yeah, if there's anything I've learned through my entire career, I suppose it's more importantly rather than having 10 meetings about why something isn't going to work, try it and see. You never know.
Make as many mistakes as possible.
Yeah, 'cause you might discover something. Well, you will discover something, of course.
What do you think are the biggest challenges for a radio station at the moment?
Well, for our radio station, I mean, again, it's audiences because there's more and more competition from online and from lots of other sources. We are bombarded with information. Radio is just now one small part of the information mass that we can dip into. Maybe only 10 years ago, perhaps 15 years ago, it was radio, TV, newspapers. That's it. Now, the internet and smartphones has made the world just totally connected, but in such a way as it could exclude radio. But during the talk earlier on, I was in agreement with the guys on the panel in the main that radio is still something that you can only do with your ears. The future of radio isn't television. The future of radio is better radio, cleverer radio, more interactive radio perhaps, because people nowadays want to be able to influence things, and it's so easy to do that now with your smartphones and tablets.
Yeah, you said you talked about the guys in the keynote battle. What were the things that were talked about that you agree upon, and what are the things that you don't really agree with? How was the keynote battle for you? How was the discussion?
It was fun. I really enjoyed it. The guys on the panel were excellent, and really, I'm not I have no real knowledge of radio in Germany, unfortunately. So I was learning rather than having opinions. But on the broad topic of whether the future of radio is more images, and things like that, I agree with. I think most people on the panel simply said no. Radio is still, even now, still an intimate between you and the listener. There's just a single connection. All the other things that come around it are fantastic, and people demand these things these days. People demand technology that, the thing we have at Jack 2, where people can democratically vote, because you're not choosing the next song. You're saying, I would quite like this one, and I wouldn't like that one. And if 100 people are doing it, they'll have different opinions, but it's a collaborative thing. And so I think the future of radio, is more collaborative. Yes, people want to be passive, people want to be surprised, but at the same time, they want some input. And obviously, the majority of people don't vote. The majority of listeners are just listening for fun, because that's what radio is for. But the very idea that you can vote makes it seem achievable. It makes it more, how can I put it?
Accessible?
Yeah, I mean, in political elections in the UK, something about 40% of people don't ever vote, which is ridiculous, but they don't. But the very idea that they can, if they want to, is enough to make it feel in touch.
Being in a panel with German radio producers, what do you think are the biggest challenges between British radio and German radio, and what do you think can we learn from each other?
Well, as I say, I have to admit, I know very, very little. Actually, I know nothing about German radio other than what I've heard in the last 24 hours, because I'm here in Berlin for 24 hours, and this is my only visit. Of course, I could listen at home. I think the issues are the same. I think it's exactly the same problems, and they're not problems, they're opportunities, of course. It's the fact that 10 or 15 years ago, there was newspapers, TV and radio, and now there's so much else to distract the listener from listening to us and doing something else besides, So all we've got to do is be relevant, be fun, be engaging, and just be on people's levels.
Okay, thank you very much for the pitch and the talk. That was it already. Time goes by fast. Yeah, I'm afraid our time is up. If you liked PitchCube, then like us on Facebook, go on Twitter and discuss with us under #PitchCube. And you can also watch this and all the other sessions that we produced here on Republica on our YouTube channel. Next up is another PitchCube with my colleague Michael Praetorius and his guest Christian Ballard. So stay tuned. That was it.